Hey y'all! Today I want to talk about supporting a creative kiddo, or if you're raising a little artist. I have been a professional artist for 15 years now, and as time goes on, I realized the way I was raised and the support I got from my family was very different from a lot of other people who maybe had ambitions to be creative and then decided to quit. So I just want to talk about some really great things that I grew up with that really helped support me in being an artist. And maybe I'll just give you some ideas on how you can support your little kiddo that's an artist. When I grew up, my family, creativity was just part of it. My dad was in picture framing, and we made a really good living from it. And picture framing is creative. You're framing art pieces, So there was never like this stigma around creativity. In fact, creativity is how our family made a living and how we made our income. And we were singers, we were in choir. My mom did creative things. My grandma was super creative and could make something out of nothing. I even had an aunt who was an art teacher in school. And it's just, I was surrounded by creativity, and my home was always filled with art. As you can see, my current home is. Someday I'll show you a tour. And it was always looked at as a positive thing. And I know that so many people have this fear of a starving artist, okay? But your child could become a starving accountant or a starving engineer or a starving secretary even. Nothing in this world is certain. You can lose your very reliable job as well as a creative job. And I think we really need to think about that. And as jobs become more automated, and they will, lots of jobs are going to disappear. We're not even going to know what the jobs of the future are right now. The thing that they can't automate is creativity. So just think about that. Just think about how important that really is. Creativity is something that can't be automated. And there's a really great video by Jim Carrey giving a speech about how his father went the safe route and lost his job. I will link it below. The chunk I'll link to is the part where he talks about it. It's really impactful. But I highly recommend you watch the whole speech too. The whole thing's great. One thing I think parents fear is that art supplies are expensive. Oof. I mean, God, you go to art stores and it's just like, wait, how much is that one art pen? I mean, I tell you, I'm an artist, I know. I spend tons of money on art supplies. But art supplies they don't have to be expensive. Art supplies is glue, tape, scraps of paper, some ribbon I found. Toilet paper rolls, by the way, were one of my favorite art supplies as a kiddo. I loved it. Scissors, a few markers, a few pens. Art supplies does not have to be expensive. It can be just things you find. And growing up, my family always kept what was called a box of possibilities. And it was just a box where, say, my mom found this really pretty ribbon. It was wrapping something she bought. So she'd say, hey, Katie, I'm going to add this to your box of possibilities. And she would throw it in. And that was my art supplies. My art supplies was all this random stuff that people would find and just throw in the box for me to maybe use later and do something with. And you're really just giving your kid the license to create out of anything. It is such a great idea. I also did a video where I kind of show my box of possibilities, and I'll link that below too. And when you say you find this scrap of paper, or you find this cool little mini Post-it note thing, when you throw this into your kid's art supplies box, you're supporting them in being an artist, and it didn't cost a ton of money. You're showing them that you're being thoughtful and that you're thinking of them, and that is support. And that doesn't take really nice art supplies to show you're supporting them. My next tip about supporting your kiddo that's an artist is having a safe space for art. And I know the term safe space is like super loaded in society right now, but just listen to me and listen to where I'm going with this. So when I grew up, I was an only child, which, means I took pristine care of all my things. But a lot of my friends had younger siblings, even older siblings, that would destroy their stuff. And so they would make this art piece and then it would get destroyed. Or they would set the art piece out on the table to work on the next day, and someone would move it off the table and throw it away. Your kids need a safe space that's their own, that they can make art, that somebody isn't going to just clean it up or just ruin the markers, some little kid, or away from your pets who are going to knock it over overnight, or whatever. They need somewhere safe where they can keep all their things without them getting ruined. Nothing will discourage you more than having your stuff ruined. I remember my friends' parents, who would be like, oh, you ruined those markers, you're not getting any more. But really the dog got them, or the cat, or something, and just find them a safe space where they can put out their stuff. Maybe it even is a box that just goes under the bed, but somewhere where they can put their stuff away. It's off limits to other people in the home, other kids, the pets, it's off limits. And they can pick back up the next day. Because when you're doing art, you're doing some things for the first time, no matter what. The first time you do something, it's going to take you way longer than you think. So in order for kids to grow as an artist, to become better artists, they need to be able to work on projects that they can work on for days, for weeks, for hours. They need to be able to work more than that one time before dinner and then put it away. That's how they become better artists. And that's how they create things that are more amazing, because you give them more time to master their craft without interruption, without disappointment, and without heartbreak. So if you can find a space in your home, any space, and just give them a safe space to know that their supplies and what they're working on is going to be there the next day, that's really important. And my parents gave me an entire closet. The entire hallway closet was mine. It should have been like a pantry and a cloak closet. It wasn't. It was my art closet. I remember everybody would have to go past me to go to the bathroom in our house, and I would always have to get off my chair, fold up the chair, and let people go by, and then when they were done, I'd set all my stuff back up and work on my art. So allow them to have a safe space. My next tip is show kids all kinds of artists. Show them all kinds of successful artists. And this does not have to cost money. In fact, now it's so easy with like YouTube, like videos you're watching here. You can show them, like take them to art fairs, take them to gallery openings, take them to gallery shows, take them to all kinds of things where they can see creatives being successful. When I grew up, there really wasn't that many people who were truly artists making a living. There were art teachers and stuff, but my parents made sure to take me to gallery openings, and they took me to Walt Disney World and showed me all the animation stuff, and they bought me books, and they made sure that I saw a clear path to success with art. And if you can show your kids that, if you can show them that there is a path for them out there with art, that's support. That is huge support. And don't worry if you think your kid's too young for it. I used to go to gallery openings when I was teeny tiny. I would ask my many questions of the artists. I was very intrigued. Don't think they're not going to get it. Don't think they can't behave. Take kids to adult art events and show them what it's like. This is about, encouraging them to be something they can be. It's about encouraging them, understanding they can be a success, showing up as the parent they need you to be. If your kids were interested in sports or math or science or working on cars or farming, you would show up in that way and you would encourage that skill. It's the same as art. And I think we forget that a lot, that it's the same. This is how they need you to show up, And don't worry about having to keep every piece of art, you don't have to. But I do love, I do love seeing my old pieces that my mom kept. Kind of cute. She didn't need to keep all of them. She kind of did. But she didn't need to keep all of them. But I do have some of them, And just remember, there's a million ways to be an artist. You can be an artist that works in therapy for the elderly. You can be an artist who does graphic design. You can be an artist that creates stage lighting for concerts. You can be an artist that does graphic design like me. You can be an artist that paints paintings for galleries. There's a million ways to be an artist. And, maybe if you're lucky enough, you'll have a kid that becomes an artist and does one of those million amazing things. Okay, that's it, guys. So the top tips from this video are, just remember, art careers can be as safe as any other career. Also, art supplies don't have to be expensive. Make sure you give them a safe space that they can come back to their supplies and their projects. And show them successful artists. Show them different possibilities and what that can look like. All right, thank you guys. If you found this helpful, I'd love to hear from you about it. If you could give me a like and a subscribe. Let's get more little artists out there. The world needs more of us. Okay, bye guys.